In this Star Wars Dark Forces remaster video, we will be taking a look at this incredible remaster for such a legendary first-person shooter. We'll be delving into how it looks compared to the original game, its new features, performance and more. I've got it all in this video. Before we do get into it though, make sure you do subscribe to this channel so you won't miss any future Star Wars gaming videos. I'd like to thank Night Dive Studios who developed this remaster for an early copy of the game so I can show you what's included in this wonderful package. So, it has been nearly 30 years since the release of Dark Forces, and for the longest time it has been really hard to play properly. There was a PlayStation 1 version, but most people have been playing it on PC, and to play it on PC, it requires mods to get running. You can't just play it out of the box without issues. It's not been a good experience. That is the main reason why I've never been able to get far into the game. I also like to play games how the developer intended them to be, and I always thought that one day there would be a remaster. Today is that day, and it's not just any remaster, it is an absolutely fantastic remaster. Night Dive Studios, who are very good at making remasters of classic games to preserve them, have done an incredible job here. As someone who doesn't have nostalgia for this game, I'm looking at it from a fresh perspective, and from a feeling point of view, this game is fantastic. I have actually owned this game for well over a decade, but like I said, it's just not easy to play, and I couldn't be bothered to sort it out with mods, things like that. I thought, I'll just wait for a remaster which will inevitably happen, and it has. As you can see, the game remains faithful to how it looked originally. Using the source code, new hand-drawn artwork, and re-rendered 3D cutscenes, the game looks crisp at up to 4K resolution. It also runs exceptionally well at high frame rates. I personally have been spending most of my time playing at 1440p with over 300 frames per second, and it feels so good to move around and shoot. Previously, I didn't have the desire to go and finish this game, but now I do because it's so well done and feels amazing. If you want to relive the early 90s, then there is a toggle to bring back the original graphics. It's on the fly, so you just tap the button and it changes how the game used to look. It does a good job at replicating it. There is also a setting for the audio as well, so some people may just prefer how it used to sound or want to hear it for nostalgia reasons, just like the graphics, so that is a setting as well. To me, these features are essential to a remaster as it allows you to experience a better version of the game, but also how it originally looked. Given just how hard it has been to play this game for quite some time due to it being stuck on MS-DOS, this is such a great feature. A welcome setting found within this game is an FOV slider. I'm someone that really likes to crank it up on any game I play, and this game allows you to have it go all the way down to 60, its default is 90, but you can also go all the way up to 150. There are a bunch of other settings as well to customise your experience, so you can really pick just how you like to play. Of course, there is controller support as well, given it's on a variety of consoles. Personally, I much prefer playing with a mouse for this remaster. The aiming just feels much better, especially at higher frame rates with the mouse, but I think it will just come down to personal preference, and it's not bad on controller by any means. Personally, I'm just a bit more used to modern games that have a strong aim assist. During the limited time I've had with this game so far, I have spent most of it playing on PC, but I did check out the Xbox version as well. It looks great, it performs well, and does exactly what you'd expect. The current gen consoles do have 120 frames per second mode, so that's also a big plus. I did try the PC version on my Steam Deck, and yes, as you'd expect, it is smooth and great to have on the go. Far greater than having the original game, which was unplayable. That's just another great Star Wars game to have in my library for on the go, and I can easily play it on the PC with a much higher frame rate if I want to. Night Dive have done a solid job in this department. All versions of the game on the various platforms are just a couple of gigabytes in size, so they don't take up much space either, which is nice. One of my favourite parts of this remaster is a new feature called The Vault. It contains a previously unreleased playable level, in-development assets, concept art, cutscene development, and pre-rendered images from back in the day. Each item comes with a description and history about what it is, and you can really learn quite a lot from them. Be it early designs of assets or explanations for behind-the-scenes things. It's a treasure trove, especially for big fans of this game. It is really cool how you can zoom in and analyse all the bits of development content up close, and it's just presented very, very well. To me personally, more of this should be included in games when it comes to remasters. It's a mini museum and I really appreciate it. One of the things I love the most about the Vault is this playable unreleased level. It is called the Avenger, so you're getting a bit of extra content within this remaster, and essentially this was the playable demo at CES for the game before it came out. Parts of this level was reused in the final game in various other levels, but this actual level has been completely restored and is available for us all to play. This is just going above and beyond what some remasters do. Lost media like this in games needs to be taken care of, and this is how you do it. I do know that other games have brought back old levels that were previously just, say, demos, and they're now playable in a remaster, but still, I'd like to see it far more often, especially when it comes to Star Wars. Plus, being such a huge Star Wars fan, especially Star Wars games, this is just awesome. I have seen a bunch of people ask questions such as, does it have the original cheat codes? Do they work? And is the console also involved? The good news is that that's all intact. As you can see, you can use the original cheat codes, the console and such. The cheat codes unlock what you'd expect. It's all there. In terms of bugs, I haven't experienced anything aside from occasionally my monitor will just go black, and then it'll be fine a few seconds later. It doesn't actually turn off, the game just disappears. It's very, very strange. It is frustrating because it just happens at random times, and it is somewhat frequently, probably about 5 or so times a play session. It even just would happen a few seconds into booting the game and checking out the menus. I don't know what this is, but hopefully this is something that Night Dive will fix in a future update, and I'm confident that they will because based on their track record, they do a good job at making sure that most issues are ironed out. Another thing I hope for this remaster is that it does get a physical release. This goes the extra mile of preserving a game because it's not just going to be digital only. I feel like we could see this probably through, say, limited run games given just how big Dark Forces is, and it's a substantial remaster. Let's now talk about the price, which is $30. Compared to other titles in this same space and scope, it is a bit high, especially when you look at Night Dive's back catalogue with the remasters they've done. It's possible that Night Dive just have to give a larger slice of the pie to, say, Lucasfilm or Disney, or that price is set by someone like Disney. It is certainly not a cash grab though, because it is a labour of love from the team at Night Dive. It's not a lazy remaster, you can clearly tell when some games are, whereas this is a passion project. For die-hard fans of this game, it is a must-have, even at this price. Especially because it has been so well done. If you can't quite justify spending $30 or you're a first-time player and you're unsure if you'll like it, then I think waiting until it's on discount is fine. Sure, it doesn't have the graphics of modern-day games, but it feels fantastic and plays well. If you're looking for a first-person Star Wars shooter to scratch that itch, then picking this up and experiencing it for the first time is certainly worth it. I do like how fast-paced this game is, and it's just great. It makes me even more excited for Respawn's upcoming first-person Star Wars shooter, which is inspired by Dark Forces and Dark Forces 2. Instead of playing as Kyle Katarn, you'll be playing as Mandalorian. Even if you wait until the game is on discount, I do hope it's supported well, because if this does sell well, it means we probably will see more Star Wars remasters like this in the future. There are many Star Wars games that aren't easily accessible or require a lot of mods to play, much like Dark Forces. Having Night Dive give those games the same treatment would just be fantastic. So hopefully this game does sell well enough to justify more Star Wars remasters. In short, this is how you actually remaster a game and preserve it for the future. I really do hope the same could be said and applied to the other old Star Wars games in the future. I would love to hear your thoughts on what I've shared with you in this video, so please do let me know down in the comment section below, along with which really old Star Wars games you'd like to see remastered by Night Dive next. If you enjoyed this video, please do drop a like to help support the channel. Subscribe so you don't miss any future Star Wars gaming videos. If you missed any of my previous videos on the Classic Collection, check out the playlist on screen right now, and I shall see you in my next video. Goodbye.